Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Fenton Forest Farm. We are in another video here. Same game day as we've been, I think, the last video or two, but we're still doing Sandbox mode because none of this really matters. We're just having fun and doing some things here. And I'm going to try to stress out courseplay just a little bit. Not necessarily, but want to kind of know how things have progressed over the last few version updates, and there have been quite a few, so we're going to see if this guy will work with Lime okay, and then we're going to tab down, and yep, looks like he's doing pretty well there. And so you'll notice our money is deteriorating there as we do Lime. You know, the Lime situation is I'm going to also do this for a second. I'm going to send him back to the I'm going to send him on his route because I wanted to test and see something. In the previous version, the AI was driving normal speed to the silo, but on the way back he was driving really slow, and I want to see if that issue has maybe been resolved. And so we're just going to let him do his thing, and I'm going to tab back over to our harvester. We'll see how he's doing. Get to our harvester here in just a minute. Too much equipment, but hey, like I said, we're just having fun and doing a lot of different things. And like I said, just having fun is the main ingredient. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We're gonna just kind of pull over here and let him swing on by because I don't know where his path is. I have forgotten, but he is scooting with an empty grain cart. So hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I know I just said that, but I got sidetracked just a little bit. And so today in the real world, it is Thursday, and it is the 7th of February. Gentlemen, a week to go before Valentine's Day, so make sure you have those have all of that stuff lined up that you're gonna give to your significant other, and have all that ready to go. I've got mine pretty much all set, and maybe I will tell you what we're going to do later in a different episode. But I'm going to go ahead and get things unfolded here, and we're going to talk a little bit about some. It's already unfolded. I just need to unfold that. So we need to make sure that we've got our stuff in the right place there, and that's looking pretty good. Ease up here, and we'll check out and see if there's really been an update to the what I'm going to call GPS. I think probably forever, but it's the enhanced vehicle control, whatchamacallit, and we're going to see how that's going to work for us. I will tell you that let's see, control. I think I've got a hang on to your horses there, buddy. Terrain angle on. I wish this would stay on. This goes off, and I'm not real sure why it does that, but it does, and I wish it would stay on because I like the snap terrain angle to be on, because what that does is that makes sure that I am lined up the way that I'm supposed to be whenever I then hit my B and get my B going, and then we are locked in, and we are going to press the pedal down and get going. So we have a good straight line going there with the edge of the field, and we are cooking with gas. So anyway, in the real world today, Thursday, 7th of February, I had a busy day at work, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But so finally, and I'm guessing that, I'll be honest with you, I was so busy yesterday at work that I didn't have a chance to check the Giants webpage to see what mods got released yesterday, but I did notice today that we have the first modded maps have started to appear in the Giants mod hub, and looks like we've got some things. One that I'm kind of interested in, Grizzly Mountain. You know, I would almost think that Grizzly Bear Sim should almost have to play a little bit of Grizzly Mountain. Now, it is a forestry map. It says it's a forestry map with a little bit of support for farming. So I don't know what that means. I've not downloaded it and I've not looked at it, but looks like we've got another, we've got the Cow Edition Valtra tractor that's come out, and then we also have the New Holland square baler. So it looks like we finally got one of those and going to be in the shop. So that is a mod, and I'm pretty sure that is a Giants version, if memory serves me correctly. But who knows? I don't know for sure. But hopefully our courseplay guy is working okay over there on spreading the line. And what say you? Do you also get a little frustrated with, let me get over here where I can lift this guy up, do that a little more realistically. Do you also get frustrated at I guess the somewhat low capacity, I guess we should say, of the lime spreader and how much it uses as compared to other things such as fertilizer? So of course I don't know about these things in the real world per se, so I'm not sure if what we're essentially seeing as far as the amount of lime that gets spread on the field is realistic, nor are the proportions realistic as compared to, say, for example, granular dry fertilizer. Because I can fill one of those with dry fertilizer, and it seems like anyways that I can fertilize for days and never have to fill the thing back up, yet I cannot spread lime on one of these fields and get it done with a full hopper of lime. So it just seems like the proportions are just a little bit off. So yeah, it's going to suck through our money, but hey, we've got $6 million. We're the $6 million farming man, I suppose we could say, and it's going to suck through that money okay, but at least that will do better than trying to go and fill him whenever he runs out of lime. All right, so we've talked about the mods, we've talked about the lime. There have been some updates, obviously, to courseplay. Now, I don't know about updates to the enhanced, what is that really called? Enhanced guidance steering. I do need to probably call that by the correct name. But hey, if I say GPS, you know what I'm talking about, I think. I wish that they would put some versioning on that mod. Obviously working sort of in the software industry, seeing versions of things is good. Obviously we have that with courseplay, and there's almost an update for courseplay every single day. And so I think since I've been using it, I have probably updated my courseplay at least a half dozen times, if not more. It seems, I come downstairs whenever I'm gonna play Farm Sim, come downstairs, I basically go out and download whatever version of courseplay is available, and then also do the same thing with GPS mod as well. Those are the two mods that I'm probably keeping an eye on the closest right now, because obviously we're still waiting on the Giants update for Farm Sim 19. That's going to hit whenever that hits, and it may break some things. We've seen that before, and that's one of the things that Stevie himself is waiting on before this map, Fenton Forest Farm, goes from the testing version into the general release version. There most likely will be a testing version 3 of this map once Giants updates the game. And of course Stevie has been making some tweaks to it, but I think he's really waiting to see what the updates are going to be, and then he will update, or he will release the third version of the testing, and depending on what happens with that, depending on what sort of issues there might be, then it'll be made available, general release kind of thing. I mean, obviously it's available now. Anybody that wants it can go out and get it on his Facebook page. But and this is a solid version. I mean, the second version, the first version of this map obviously had some small issues, nothing that was really stopping any of us from playing it and enjoying it. I had a lot of fun, probably logged about 10 or 12 hours on the first version of this map, and but he fixed all of the problems that was plaguing it from that first version, and it's a real fine, it's a fine map. It's a fine map to play. All right, let me make my turn here. And so, yeah, work has been extremely hectic the last few weeks. As I almost forget to lower the header. Come on, Jerry. This is not your first rodeo. Maybe the second. Anyway, so for the last couple of years, we at where I work have been preparing for the end of life for the wonderful operating system that was Windows 7. Quite possibly one of the best operating systems that Microsoft has ever put out. Fairly stable, especially after the first iterations of it, I suppose. Once Microsoft had the opportunity to put some patches out there for it, it became a very stable operating system, and I really can't remember how long we ran it where I work, but I mean, we obviously moved from Windows XP to Windows 7, so I'm guessing maybe around 10 years, quite possibly, we had it in production. And of course, Microsoft is going to end support for Windows 7 at the end of this calendar year. So basically at the end of 2019, Microsoft will end support for Windows 7. Now we have been again marching towards this particular date for the last couple of years. And when you have a company, when you work for a company the size that I do, it takes a while to get her done, so to speak. And we have, for probably the last 2.5 years, we have been basically working fairly diligently on making sure that when we deployed new hardware to users, that basically they got a machine with Windows 10 or another equivalent. Some folks need to use Macs. Some can get by with Linux OS, etc. And so anyway, that's what we've been doing. And we really are coming down to the wire because our date that we had set for making sure that Windows 7 was gone off of our network, basically all instances of that operating system removed. We set a date of the 1st of October to have that done. Now, everyone is sort of trying to even march towards an earlier date of that, maybe 1st of September, maybe even 1st of August, just to allow some buffer room there, because we're always going to have those straggler type scenarios where we're going to have folks that are going to sort of hold out and have assets that maybe are in desk drawers and that sort of stuff, like old laptops and whatnot, and so it's going to take a little while to find those and basically get those off of our network. But it is a challenge that we're all up for, and of course one that it just seems like yesterday we went through this whole exercise in getting Windows XP off the network, but of course it's been longer than just a day for that. It's been several years, I suppose, since we completed that project. So it is one that we will get done. So for you, the consumer that is still running Windows 7, I guess good for you that you held out and stuck with Windows 7 for as long as you have. Again, it's a very stable, very high-performing operating system, especially the 64-bit variety. So if you've got hardware that can support it and everything, it worked fantastic. But you need to be thinking about what you're going to do, because you don't want to really use Windows 7 much longer than, I would say, the end of the year, because Microsoft will end support of it, and that will mean that any sort of patches or could be security vulnerabilities and stuff like that that could affect you. And as far as Windows 10 goes, I completely dislike the update process. the way that Microsoft deploys updates for the OS, but hey, it sort of is the thing, I suppose. But it is what it is. But in any event, it seems to be smooth, high-performing operating system like Windows 7. I've been on it now for a couple of years, I suppose, with my gaming machine, and have been, I've suffered a bit with the updates. There was that issue that I had before I built my new gaming machine where it wouldn't take the updates. I got several months behind because it would just fail in trying to take the updates, and I think it just got so bad that Windows 10 just kind of crashed on itself, if you will. And then of course I decided, well, I'll just build a new machine, because I also had either a CPU or a motherboard problem. I'm not sure which of the two it was, but one of the two was not happy, and of course that gave birth to the opportunity to build this gaming machine. And quite honestly, this is the most powerful gaming PC that I've ever owned and used, and I'm really quite pleased with the performance and how it functions with not only Farm Sim, but ATS, ETS2, and of course Flight Sim, because that is such a power hungry simulation. So we get going here. So I really like this new GPS mod, the vehicle guidance steering mod. I really like it. At first, I might have mentioned in the video that you guys saw on Thursday, or actually today, you watched it this morning. This video will probably come out on Monday, because I'm not going to get a chance to edit and get it rendered and everything until probably the weekend. So I'll probably set it to go live on Monday morning. But I think in that video on Thursday that you watched, which I recorded, I believe, on Monday or the weekend or something, I might have mentioned that I was not as happy with it because of the changes. I guess I'm a creature of habit, just like everyone else is, in a way, and I sort of was used to the other version, obviously having used it in Farm Sim 15 and Farm Sim 17, and was missing some of the features and the functionality and the things that I was used to. But this isn't bad. This really isn't bad once you kind of get the hang of it. And like I said, I wish that those settings would save. I wish that whenever you pulled up the main HUD that you didn't have to turn on the grid snapping each and every time. But maybe that's something that they can work on. And you just have to remember that it is a beta. It's a beta mod. And what I was saying before with the versioning is if we bring it up, I think it's Alt S to bring this up. I wish that they would put the version in here, because it's nowhere to be found. I thought maybe if you hovered over this it would show, but it doesn't, and there's no versioning here. Now I did play around with these save features, and basically when I tried to save the track, and I really don't know how this works, other than I sort of kind of looked at this similar to Courseplay, and I set it up and I saved it as field 3, whatever, and it basically crashed my game. It crashed my game when I tried to save that course. So that may still be a work in progress. It may be fixed now, because I'm not really sure how many times this has been updated since the first version that I got my hands on. But in any event, it is something that I think will probably get better in time. I could see it getting more features and more functionality, and I think the right guy is behind it. I think the Lobster, I guess that's his screen name or whatever. I think he's probably the right guy to be working on something like this, and I think that from what we've seen, some of the other mods that he put out for Farm Sim 17, I think that he's the type of person that will stand behind the mod and make sure that everything is up to snuff and that everything works, and if there's issues and stuff, he'll get those fixed and patched. But we just have to be patient. We have to remember that it is beta, and just like Courseplay, just like many of the other things that hopefully will be forthcoming to the game will be beta, obviously. So we're going to request our driver, and we're going to see how he does in basically leaving the field and going back to the silo and coming back to the field. There have been some versions of Courseplay that has come out for 19 where that hasn't worked all that well, but I think that those issues might be resolved, at least in a little bit of testing that I've done. It seems so anyways. So we're going to go ahead and send him home in just a minute. We'll let ourselves get empty here, because that way we'll not get full by the time he gets back, which I don't think we would, but we'll see. But it's good to see that we're not getting any mod conflicts between Courseplay and between the guidance steering mod and things like that. So that's all good to know. 8500R has reached trigger endpoint. I don't think so. Oh, that's I'm sorry. That is the tractor that was pulling the line. Okay, he's reached his endpoint. That's fine. Had me confused there for a moment. I thought there's no way that tractor has made it to the silo to empty his corn in that amount of time, because that was like maybe 10 seconds or something like that. He would have been really moving. But yeah, no conflicts that I found. Everything seems to work well. I think probably the next test that I will do, obviously the lime, hopefully he finished and did everything the way that he was supposed to, sort of unattended, because that's what we kind of like about Courseplay. So I guess probably the next test for us, and it might come on that oat field just behind us, would be set up the combine on Courseplay, set up the tractor tipper on Courseplay, and see if they can harvest that field without any supervision or any assistance from me, the game player. So that would be kind of cool if we have a version of Courseplay that is capable of doing that. And here comes our tractor back. So he's working quite nicely. Again, the version that I was playing on earlier in the week, for whatever reason, it must have had a bug, an issue, because he would just crawl back to the field. He would go to the silo with whatever speed I had recorded the course on, but it was just super slow coming back. And we're going to grab these 4 or 5 stalks of corn because, hey, we're here. I do love the features, the new features of Farm Sim 19. I know that a lot of what I have talked about in the last couple of weeks, since I have been sort of re-enjoying Farm Sim 19, and of course the week or so that I had Farm Sim 19 after I got back from Thanksgiving, I know a lot of what I've talked about has kind of been about the issues, about the problems that we all experience with this game, and there are still issues, obviously. Hopefully the patch that we're all waiting for will solve those things. But I've got to say that I like the features. I like the way that the crops, like in the example here, our corn stalks, the way that they move when the header comes along. It seems like the animations are so much more better in looking at how the corn is going into the header and how it's simulated being cut and sort of disappears. It's a lot more realistic, I think, kind of looking at it even from the cab. We can do that now that we have the GPS mod running. We can sort of take a look there and it just looks a lot more realistic, and I'm super pleased with those features. Now, of course, there's a ton of bugs and everything with other stuff that Giants, I'm sure, are literally probably burning the midnight oil. Hopefully they're burning the midnight oil. They need to be. And we'll get everything resolved, and we'll all be so happy with the product that we have from them. And where did our tipper tractor go? Now that's weird. I could have sworn just a few minutes ago I saw him, and unless he was kind of looping. Now that's weird. I think he must have. I think he must be on a loop instead of going to his stopping point and stopping. He is on some kind of weird loop. So he's running from the field. That's obviously a bug. He's running from the field back to the silo. He didn't do that before. Interesting. Oh well. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on about 25 minutes on this recording, and obviously since we have some opportunities with Courseplay, I'm not going to waste your time in resolving those. We'll just see how this all works out, and hopefully an updated version of Courseplay will fix those, and we'll just all figure that out once we get to that point. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you all will come over and join us over on the Simulation Gaming Society Discord server. You'll find Exorly Gaming, Eustace Farmer, and myself hanging out over there, chatting with folks and helping everyone out, helping each other out, and letting you all help us out as well. So come on over and say hi, join the conversation, and yeah. So Courseplay. Come on, tractor. I don't pay you to drive back and forth to the silo. That's that Billy Bob for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all the next episode. Bye-bye for now.